Deep dive. Today, our focus is on a problem that is evolving really, really fast,
Mm,
from something theoretical to a very immediate operational crisis.
it really is.
We're diving deep into the security side of enterprise AI adoption, and I don't just mean chatbots. We're talking about autonomous agents, user prompts, all of it embedded in daily business.
And this is such an urgent deep dive because the whole technical landscape has, fundamentally shifted. And our traditional security defenses, they just weren't built for this.
Oh,
For
thank you.
decades, we focused on endpoints, networks, cloud, but now there's this entirely new interaction layer. It's the communication channel between the user and these massive AI models.
And that channel is, for the most part, invisible.
Mm,
So our mission today is to give you, the learner, a really comprehensive understanding of this blind spot.
hmm
We're going to define exactly how these autonomous AI actions and prompts are creating security gaps, and then we'll unpack a proposed blueprint for closing them. Specifically, the 5 pillars of capability described in solutions like Falcon AIDR.
Yeah, the goal here isn't just to identify the risk. It's to understand the solutions we actually need. We have to move past the fear of AI and get towards securing the reality of it.
Okay, let's just unpack this core problem right away. The invisible threat. The sources we looked at argue that enterprise AI has quietly created what is, well, effectively, the largest new attack surface we've seen in years.
It really is. This isn't some specialized data science tool anymore.
No.
We're talking about AI agents that can run code, generate documents, summarize confidential reports. I mean, they're making decisions that affect the bottom line.
And that speed, that rapid integration, creates these immense visibility gaps.
It does. Security teams today can tell you exactly which laptop accessed a specific file. They know which identity logged into which cloud account.
Sure.
But then you ask them who in your organization is using AI or what kind of sensitive data is being fed into those prompts, and we get silence. Or how would you even know if an internal AI agent was forced to override its safety policies? They just don't have the answers.
And that silence is the danger, right? We have these autonomous entities operating inside the business, moving sensitive data around, and it's all happening outside the view of the established security stack.
Exactly. I mean, if you can't log the interaction, you can't govern it, and you certainly can't secure it.
So walk me through an example. Let's say an employee in finance feeds proprietary budget data into a public tool to get a summary. What's the actual risk there?
Well, does your current security platform even log that data transfer? Probably not. So if a malicious actor, or even just an honest mistake, causes a data leak through that prompt, how would you even begin the forensics? You wouldn't know where to start.
This leads us to, I think, the most critical argument in the materials we reviewed. It's a really powerful way of reframing the threat, and that is AI prompts are the new malware.
It's such a compelling analogy because it forces you to rethink what an executable instruction even is. We traditionally think of malware as a file, like a .exe file. But a prompt is functionally the same thing. It is executable text. It's a set of instructions that can trigger unintended actions or expose very sensitive data.
So give us a vivid example. If text is the new execution path, what does an attacker actually do? What do they gain?
Okay, let's say a company deploys its own internal corporate AI agent. Its job is to review and summarize client reports that have, say, PII and confidential IP in them.
Okay.
An attacker, or maybe a disgruntled employee, uses a targeted prompt injection attack. They don't install a program, they just type a sentence. And that sentence forces the agent to ignore its original instructions and instead covertly email the entire confidential archive to an external personal email address.
And no traditional security tool would see that.
Nothing. The prompt was the instruction, the agent was the execution environment, and the result is massive data theft. And not a single alarm would go off in a traditional endpoint detection system.
Wow. It forces you to rethink every security assumption we've held for the last 20 years? Our whole defense perimeter just shifted from protecting file integrity to inspecting human language. It's a huge change.
It's an enormous change, and it means we need a completely new set of tools. So if traditional security is blind here, we need modern capabilities designed specifically for that AI interaction level. The sources detail 5 core pillars for this.
Okay, let's start with the foundation, the one that makes everything else possible. Pillar 1. Unified AI visibility across the enterprise. This is the telemetry challenge, right? But for a channel we've never worried about before.
That's it. So runtime level visibility just means seeing the activity as it's happening inside that communication channel.
Before it even leaves the building, so to speak.
Before the data leaves your control plane and before the AI agent takes action, yes. This requires centrally logging everything. The full text in the prompt, the full response, who the user was, what application they used, and any actions taken by AI agents.
That seems like an overwhelming amount of data.
It is, but the key insight here is correlating that data. You have to log it centrally and tie it into your existing security platform. Until security teams actually see their own employees' AI activity mapped out, what they're asking, what data they're including, they don't fully grasp the scale of their blind spots.
So visibility is step one. You can't secure what you can't see.
Exactly.
Okay, so once we can see the activity, we have to deal with the threats. That brings us to pillar 2, real-time detection and blocking of AI-native attacks. What's the playbook we're defending against here?
We're talking about very specific active threats. The sources highlight prompt injection attempts. That's where you manipulate the input. Then there are jailbreaks, where a user bypasses the model's built-in safety guardrails.
Right.
And of course, unsafe or malicious agent behavior, where the AI starts acting outside its intended purpose.
I saw a number in the sources that really stood out to me. Over 180 documented adversarial AI techniques. That's staggering.
It is. It really underscores the sophistication here. I mean, this isn't a simple defense problem. You have attacks like data poisoning, trying to corrupt the model's training data. You have model evasion techniques designed to fool the detection system itself.
So how do you defend against that? It can't be simple signature-based detection.
No, it has to be a system that analyzes the intent of the prompt and the context of the interaction in real time.
Which brings up the trade-off. If you just block everything, you kill the utility of the AI.
Yeah.
So that's pillar 3, policy enforcement at the interaction layer. How do you enforce granular security policy without just, becoming a bottleneck for the business?
Enforcement has to happen right at the point of interaction, and it needs to be surgical. We're talking about applying granular controls to the prompt itself. For instance, you can log all AI activity, but crucially, you have to be able to redact sensitive content in real time.
All right, let's go back to that finance example.
Mm-hmm.
An employee pastes a prompt asking the AI to summarize, Project Phoenix financial data, including all Social Security numbers. What happens?
The system has to identify that regulated data, the SSNs, the PII, and automatically strip it or mask it before the model ever processes the input.
So the model never even sees the sensitive stuff.
Correct. That's policy enforcement. It lets the model summarize the financial data, which is the productive task, without ever being exposed to the PII. It effectively blocks the dangerous part of the prompt while allowing the useful part to proceed.
And that targeted approach sounds like an absolute necessity, especially when you get into legal and regulatory issues. Which moves us smoothly to pillar 4. Sensitive data protection for AI. This is the compliance angle, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. This is the compliance angle, and it addresses the single biggest fear companies have about adopting generative AI, the massive data leakage risk. We're talking about preventing the exposure of credentials, PII, intellectual property, all of it.
And if a model sees or uses that sensitive data, doesn't that inherently put you out of compliance with things like GDPR or IPA if it's not logged and audited properly?
Absolutely. To connect this to the bigger picture, this kind of interaction layer security directly supports your auditability and regulatory needs. An organization has to be able to prove that their employees or agents did not send PII outside their control. Without real-time protection and logging, using AI basically means accepting uncontrolled data exposure.
And finally, that brings us to pillar 5. Secure AI adoption without killing innovation. This is the eternal tension in security, right?
Yes.
The biggest threat to innovation is often just the fear of liability, which leads to
blanket bans. And that's the challenge. Security leaders know they can't stop AI adoption. They can only secure it. A blanket ban just pushes AI usage underground into shadow IT, which creates even more dangerous blind spots.
So a successful approach has to work for everyone.
It has to support both the developers building AI-powered apps and the end users who are just trying to be more productive. The security layer should be invisible to the user, but completely transparent to the security team.
So we've got the 5 pillars. But operational benefits are always promised. Why is this integrated approach truly different from just, bolting on yet another standalone point solution?
That is the critical question. If AI detection and response is just another siloed tool, the operational complexity crushes any benefit. The strategic value here is all about platform integration. AI telemetry needs to be treated as, just another signal. It
Okay.
has to be fully integrated alongside signals from your endpoint security, your identity protection, your cloud workloads, your SIM.
So instead of an analyst having to jump between 5 different dashboards to correlate a prompt injection attack with a specific user and their endpoint activity, it all just feeds into one existing workflow.
Precisely. It reduces complexity instead of adding to it. Analysts can use the skills and platforms they already have and trust. You avoid having to hire a whole new specialized AI security team just to monitor a new tool.
Let's connect this back to the listener's operational reality. What are the immediate business needs that this kind of integrated security layer supports right now?
We identified 4 critical ones. First, enterprise AI governance, making sure all AI use follows internal rules. Second, secure AI application development, protecting the apps you're building internally.
Okay.
Third is enabling MSSP multi-tenant AI security operations, which is huge for service providers. And finally, providing centralized logging and auditability for AI usage, which, as we said, ties directly to compliance.
So these aren't abstract problems for 2025. These are operational headaches happening today.
Absolutely. The time for just deliberating is over. The sources are really clear on this. Organizations are either adopting AI, building on AI, or they have users leveraging public AI tools right now. Ignoring this attack surface is just not an option anymore.
Okay, let's wrap this deep dive up.
Okay.
If we look at the whole landscape, the key takeaway for you, the learner, is really crystal clear. If your organization lets employees use AI, if you build or deploy AI agents, and if you care about data leakage or compliance, then visibility into that interaction layer is mandatory. It's not optional.
Yeah, without that specific visibility and control, you are flying completely blind. The materials we reviewed provide a really clear roadmap, and it's framed around 4 critical questions that any security review has to answer.
And those questions are a great checklist for moving forward.
1. What AI risk exists today inside your organization? 2. How do you detect and analyze that risk in real time? 3. How do you control that risk with granular policies like content redaction?
Yeah, the big one.
And 4. How does that solution integrate with your current security stack without adding a ton of operational overhead?
That is a solid, actionable framework. Thank you for helping us synthesize this really complex, evolving risk and giving us the tools to understand the defense strategy.
My pleasure. The final provocative thought we pulled from this data is maybe the most important realization for leaders today.
What is it?
AI is already inside your environment. The only question is whether you can see it. And that forces this immediate reckoning with your own internal AI footprint and the absolute need to secure it before an attacker exploits the blind spots we just discussed.
An excellent point. Time to check your own systems, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.